Welcome back to the Dulce Candy Podcast. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow the podcast on your favorite platform, and please take a second to leave a 5-star review. It really helps this message reach more women like you. Before we dive in, just a quick reminder that May is the last month to book a spot for my Bali retreat, and we still have a few spots left. So if you've been craving time to reset, to step away from the noise and come back home to yourself, let this be an invitation and a sign for you. All the details are going to be down in the show notes. Now let's talk about today's topic because this one hits really deep. As we're getting older, so many things are changing, and how do we embrace getting older gracefully? How do we adapt the correct mentality to really embrace the beautiful gift of getting older? Now, I'm 37, going on 38 this August, and I've just been reflecting a lot on what it means to age gracefully. I always looked younger than I am, and people have told me that since I was very young. But lately, I'm starting to see a lot of changes, like little fine lines. The skin on my neck is starting to change. A lot of gray hairs are popping up, like a lot. And also the way that my body holds on to food differently, how it takes longer for me to bounce back after a night of eating pizza. And more than anything, I've noticed how much of this experience is mental. Because when I'm not taking care of myself, when I'm skipping movement, eating sugar, and not sleeping properly, I feel heavy and uninspired. I disconnect from myself, and yes, I feel old, But when I return back to my rituals, my walks, my meditation, my mindset work, lifting weight, eating better, I feel powerful again. I feel like me. So aging isn't just physical, it's also a beautiful spiritual evolution, and it's deeply emotional. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's talk about what's actually happening inside of our bodies. And we're going to cover this in the topic of meditation. Because when I became a meditation teacher, something that blew my mind was what meditation actually does to the aging process of any human. And dare I say, it's my secret to the actual glow within. A lot of women that I meet who practice meditation regularly or who also have different techniques of managing stress, they look different. They look more vibrant, more aligned, more youthful also in their appearance, as opposed to stress, always dealing with stress, which is something we all deal with, but not knowing the proper techniques can cause us to actually look older. We're not allowing space to actually detox our mind and our body physically, So meditation is definitely the antidote to stress and a secret to aging, scientifically aging slower and also reversing the signs of aging in the body. So there's something called telomeres, and they're like little caps at the end of our chromosomes. Now, what these do, they actually protect our DNA. So every single time that our cells divide, those caps get shorter and shorter. And the shorter that they get, the more that we start to experience signs of aging, like wrinkles, lower immunity, and low energy. Now, here's the wild part. Chronic stress makes these telomeres shorter faster. And of course, there's some wonderful news also. Meditation, especially mantra meditation, which is what I teach, has been shown to increase the production of the telomerase, the enzyme that helps rebuild and protect those telomeres. That means that when you meditate regularly, you're literally helping your cells stay younger. And it's not just woo-woo, it's science. Even 5 minutes a day can shift your entire system. That's why meditation is one of the most powerful longevity tools that we have, and it's free. Okay, so now let's talk about what we eat, because what we feed our bodies either slows our aging process or it speeds it up. So another way to put it is you're either creating inflammation or you're reducing inflammation, right? So sugar, processed foods, alcohol, they create inflammation in the body. And inflammation is the root of so many issues like fatigue and brain fog and skin problems and wrinkles. But when we eat anti-inflammatory foods, think leafy greens, berries, olive oil, wild salmon, turmeric, we support our gut, our hormones, and our mood also. And of course, movement matters so much too. Think of movement not a way to punish your body, but as a way to show some love. And you can do this by walking and dancing and stretching, asana yoga. They move our lymphatic system, increase the circulation, and boost your mood also. And my mom loves face yoga. She's in her 60s, and she was just telling me yesterday on a phone call that she's been doing face yoga and has been seeing an actual difference in the firmness of her skin. When we're moving, we're creating momentum. And when you sit still for too long, our energy actually begins to dim as well. And food also has so much to do with it. When we're overeating, we become lethargic, we become tired, unmotivated. And when we start to implement whole foods, nutrient dense foods into our body, when we also start to eat less and be conscious of what we're eating and being in the moment and breathing through the experience and not multitasking while we're feeding our body, we start to notice that our energy goes up, right? Our body doesn't have to process so much food. And in turn, we have so much more energy and vitality. I think one of the biggest things that starts to make us feel old is the lack of energy that we have sometimes. And feeling like we don't want to do anything, we're unmotivated. That can cause depression as well. So really, the way that we nourish our bodies is really going to complement our movement and our motivation and energy when it comes to taking a walk or going to lift weights or taking up a sport at whatever age. Now let's talk about the pressures that we face as mujeres, as women. We do live in a world, unfortunately, still today that really values our youth, that at a certain age we should quiet down, fade into the background. It's subtle. No one is saying this out loud, but it's subtle, it's so powerful, and it goes into our subconscious mind. It's in what we're marketed to on social media. You see nothing but perfection. It's also in the compliments that we get. Like, wow, you look so great for your age. What is that supposed to mean? You're supposed to look like I don't know. What does that mean? Someone tell me what that means. This is us waking up as women. We don't have to follow that narrative. We get to redefine it. We get to set the standards for ourselves and what that means. Our value as a woman doesn't decline with age. It deepens. It becomes more powerful. Our worth doesn't fade ever. It's rooted in our experience, our wisdom, our confidence, right? The older that I get, the more confident and powerful that I feel as a woman. Now, as we do this work, we're not just doing it for us. We're doing it for our daughters, for our nieces, our goddaughters, all the little women in our life. These girls are watching us, and we want to let them see a woman who embraces her age, who takes care of her body, not to be like small, right? But to be strong, to be healthy, to be full of vitality, who wears the small fine lines and wrinkles with pride, who doesn't speak to herself with criticism, but instead with love. We get to model that beauty and let them grow up knowing that age is such a gift. It's not a curse. It's not a countdown. Now, I want you to take a moment wherever you are just to accept if you're driving or operating heavy machinery, but take a moment and close your eyes, and you can also just kind of soften your focus. And I want you to picture yourself at 70 or 80 or even 90, 100? What does she look like? What does her skin feel like? How do you walk? What's your energy like? Are you independent? Are you vibrant? Are you full of life? These are the questions that I've been asking myself. Who do I want to be in my older years? And what am I doing today to become her? I want to be clear-minded and healthy. I want to be able to move on my own, to walk, to travel, to dance, to take up new hobbies, start new businesses, to live fully until the very end. And when I was going to nutrition school, I actually studied the blue zones, places in the world where people live past 100 years and they still contribute to their community. Like they still work because they want to. They ride bikes at 100 years old or 115. They move, they enjoy life. That is a possibility. These are places like Costa Rica, Okinawa, Sardinia. They live long because they have a culture rooted in eating simple, whole foods, community, family, unity. They spend so much time in community. They laugh. They have a purpose. It's not just about what they eat. It's about everything, a holistic approach to the way of living life. And that's what I want, you know? I don't just want to look young, but I want to feel fully alive all the way through to the very end. And now let's close with 7 simple habits that you can begin today to really start to embody aging gracefully. And I should have said this at the beginning of the episode, but it really is a mindset, right? So mindset is everything. I have women in my life that I look up to and admire so much. My biggest inspirations in life are women in their 60s and above or 50, just like women who are older than me and don't see age as a number, but as a way of life and as a mentality. And I know that if I say mentally in my mind that I feel old, I'm going to start to adapt what feeling old looks like. And I don't adapt to that mentality anymore. You know, I want to feel youthful forever and not just looking 17, but feeling full of life and vitality and movement and inspiration and drive and having all of those qualities at my disposal, you know, if that's what I want for my life. Meditation, of course. Protect your brain, protect your mood, your energy, your mind. Even 5 minutes counts. Hydration, wake up and drink water, guys, before coffee, cafecito. You know, I know we all love our coffee. Make sure we're balancing it out, especially if we do intake a lot of caffeine. Anti-inflammatory eating. We want to swap processed snacks for nourishing ones. You want to start small, maybe 1 meal a day, and just gradually work your way up. There's this incredible concept that I also learned in nutrition school, which is all about crowding out. And it's pretty much crowding out all of the quote unquote, and I'm not going to say bad foods, but just unhealthy foods, crowding out your plate with healthy foods. And yeah, you can have maybe a little bit of something, you know, maybe some chips on the side if you're starting this journey, but you're crowding it out with spinach and carrots and bell peppers. And that's a really great method, crowding it out. You can crowd out anything with good things in your life. We're definitely going to start including some movement. I just ordered my Bowflex weights that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I'm going to start weight training again, which I'm so excited about. But I just started out with simple walking and stretching and dancing, right? So we want to make sure that we're not punishing our bodies. We're showing some love by doing this. Sunscreen, guys, it's so important for us to apply sunscreen, not just the face, but the neck, the chest, and our hands. Our hands have been shown to age 3 years faster than our face and neck. So we really got to protect our hands. Make sure we're wearing gloves or sunscreen on our hands. That is so important. Taking care of our skin, having a good skincare routine, one that actually works for your specific needs. And now going back to the blue zone mentality, adapting more purpose and joy and bringing that into your life. Make some time for what lights you up. It's not about finding a way to make money doing what you love, but doing the things that you love for no other reason that you love and enjoy them. And also, please make sure to reframe your mentality. If anything, this is the number one step. Reframe your mentality. I am growing. Speak to yourself gently and lovingly. I am growing. I am evolving. I love seeing my gray hairs. I'm just getting started. Love my beautiful wrinkles. I'm going to take care of my skin, but I still love them. No matter what your age is today, you are not behind in life. You are not being left behind. You're not invisible. You're not washed up. That's what they want us to believe, whoever they is. But it's not true. Right now is the time for us as women to wake up to our power and our growth, into this new and beautiful chapter that we're stepping into each and every single day, that we're so blessed to wake up and actually breathe. So thank you for being here with me today. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and check out the Bali retreat if your soul is feeling the call. I love you. I see you. And I'll talk to you next week. Have a blessed and beautiful day.